All right. All right.
Jax, what's good, my brother?
Today is an outstanding day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to another white hot episode of Weapons Hot. We about to get it in. We got some new developments, new schedule, some things to discuss here and there. We got some things, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm excited, man. Look, real talk. I say it all the time. It's a wonderful time to be a Jets fan. Let's get it.
Absolutely. All right. And of course, you know that we're introducing the next member of our squadron. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together from his top secret bunker in Idaho.
Come on.
Give it up for Jimmy the Reaper Jardine.
Entertainment, gotta build our own arrangement. Tell us what to say and what to do.
Man.
Reaper, what is going on, my brother?
Man, I'm having a great day. It's been a great couple of days. It's I'll get into it when we jump in, but the move to Indiana is happening. We are 2 weeks away.
Congratulations,
Nice.
my guy. Congratulations.
That is good. That is good. So you're going to be relocating your top secret bunker from where you're currently at then?
I sure am, and it's going to be a bunker because we got a basement,
Ooh.
and the whole setup's going in the basement.
Oh, snap.
I am going to be down in the basement with that big-ass snake that I have.
You should be wearing him around your neck for the show, man.
Right.
I'm not
His face just right here while you talk.
He weighs 100 pounds. So I'm not going to wear it.
Maybe we can get him to give some commentary, right?
You'll have shoulders like Neville Hewitt when you're done.
I don't want him sizing me up. So.
Right.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for our rookie test pilot.
The gunner.
There we go. You know the builds. Give it up for our rookie test pilot, Mr. Harrison, the Fireball Glazer.
Yes.
Fireball, what's going on, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I am still on cloud 9 from the Jets draft. Like, as you see by my name change, how to do it, Joe Douglas is the king. I've been saying it since the first draft that we have a great GM, and I hope everybody sees it now because he blew my mind. I had high expectations. You guys knew what I wanted. He did things I didn't even think of and then looked at it and went, okay. Joe Douglas is playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. Like, this dude gets it. Like, I bow down. Like, I'm not worthy. Like, my eval is not worthy, but I can't wait to get into it. Let's go, man.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, this week, all right, and of course, we have a very special edition of Recon missions for you this week. Obviously, in case you live under a rock and you haven't figured it out yet, the New York Jets schedule has been posted. So, now, we talked about it here. Jimmy and I actually did a solo video together while Scott Gillespie already in the comments. Let's hurry up and get to the first person saying that we're going to win double digits so I can start making fun of you all. Laugh out loud.
Go ahead and get it started.
That's it. Get it started. All right. So
go ahead and laugh, react to that thing right now, Scott.
Right,
It's happening.
Right. Here it comes.
All right. So, obviously, with the schedule release this past Wednesday, it had actually been released earlier in the day. Jimmy and I did a video on Jimmy's channel in which we talked a little bit about the schedule. We kind of gave our way too early predictions on what the Jets record was going to be. I invite you guys to go and check it out if you want a good laugh. Definitely give us a comment, like, subscribe to Jimmy's channel and so on. He puts up some tremendous content out there, as does everybody else on this panel here. So tonight we're going to discuss a little bit about that, about the schedule. So I'm very curious to go around the room. All right, so Harrison, we're going to start with you tonight. Then we're going to kick it over to Kevin, and then Jimmy. He'll probably just kind of re-emphasize some of the points that he made, or some of the points that he made about the schedule. So I'm very curious to hear what your thoughts are. Harrison, floor is yours. Go for it.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to get into it. And I had, my take on the schedule when it first came out as well. And that day I do my podcast I do on Wednesdays with a guy of mine, Pierre. And I was saying that, the schedule was coming out, and I don't know, like it's not like, draft day is big for me. Like I don't really care who we're playing as much as I want to see my team perform. Like I was never that big into like, oh, who we playing what week. Like I just want to see good football. I want to see it done right. I want to see it. To me, it doesn't really matter who we played as much, but the schedule did come out. It's exciting. And first week, you wanted to bring it up later, but if the NFL loves drama, man, if they love drama, they nailed it. Like they got drama down. They got drama down where they're sending the Jets to Carolina to play former quarterback Sam Darnold, former wide receiver Robbie Anderson, the coach that could have been in Matt Rule. It's going to be an interesting situation no matter what happens.
All right, Kevin, your thoughts.
Look, extremely interesting setup for us because if the statistics are correct, they say we have one of the easiest schedules. I mean, I don't place much emphasis on that because any given Sunday, it is what it is, right? But just statistically, if it's statistically, they say we've got, what would you say, 13th, Jim? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what they said on the power rankings from 2020.
Okay. Then based on that, we're kind of middle of the road then, and we should have some opportunities. Look, interesting enough for me, I do believe that the first game is going to be a tone setter for us. And I say that specifically because there is so much new that's going to be happening right now. You know what I'm saying? New coaching staff, new starters in quite a few positions. If things shake out the way that we expect them to, and to get a kind of a middle of the road Panthers team early, even though we're on the road, I think it's gonna give us an opportunity to kind of shock ourselves into the reality of what the season's going to look like, and only to kind of dive into the Patriots week 2. So I'm excited about where it is that we stand. We're going to get into a little later about team construction and coaching and all of that, but just my initial thoughts. I think we're in good shape, and I know Scott's over there chomping at the bit to get on, but I'm going to keep it real. I've said this a few times. 10 wins isn't unreasonable. I don't think. And I'll be excited to see how it is that it shakes out. But we go into the season, shooting for Super Bowl, shooting for playoffs, first and foremost. So, and I think that if we go into it with that mindset, it's quite possible that we can achieve that this season.
All right, Jimmy, you're up. Talk to me. Thoughts on the Jets schedule?
I like it. It's not a cupcake schedule, so we can kind of put that media narrative out the window, because I think if the Jets came in with like the 29th, 30th, 31st easiest schedule, I think the media would have plenty of ammo to just be like, yeah, well, obviously you got better coaching, you got better roster, but you did have the easiest schedule, blah, blah, blah. Whatever they can do to rip on our team, that's what they're going to do. So I'm glad that we're kind of middle of the road because they can't just say it was cupcake. They can't say it was tough. So I like it. I think we're going to be good. And now here, what I've always had to clarify since we've been talking about this since the schedule release, and CJ, thank you very much for doing that video with me. It was originally going to be in our stories on my channel because I wanted to get, we kind of jumped into that a little bit, but
right
with that schedule leak coming out, man, we just had to take the opportunity to go through it.
Dude, it was a privilege being on with you. I'm just if anything, I should apologize to you having to leave for a small portion of the video because I had something that I needed to address. But
it's all good, my friend. It's all good. But one thing I've been having to clarify with people in the Facebook groups is, yes, Scott, I am one of those that say we're going to go double-digit wins. I think we can do it. Now, I personally, the clarification on this is I think this roster with this coaching staff and this front office, I think we are capable of 11 wins this year. That's not to say that that's my expectation. I'm not saying that I'm going to be 11 wins or bust. I'm not going to be playoff or bust. I'm saying that I would be happy with that 7-8 win mark, but I think we're capable of much more than that. So that's the distinction that I think a lot of people miss out on. You know, the positive fans, the rose-colored glasses, the green-colored glasses that they like to say about us. Look, I just think we're capable of doing it, and I think that, you know, historically, new coaches for the Jets have had good seasons on year one. And I always ask, and I'll actually ask this question to the whole panel, like if you guys can give me a number, right? If you took the 2020 roster with this coaching staff, give me a win loss, like give me a win total of what you think would have been capable with this new coaching staff on last year's team.
If I may, Jimmy, quick.
Please.
To be fair, though, with that, and I think that's I agree with what you're saying, and I think that's an important narrative to point out. Yeah, usually, I mean, with me, sometimes there's a method, sometimes it's just madness. It's a little bit of both. I'm not sure which direction we're going in until we get there, but.
But what do you think this team could have done with this coaching staff last year?
But see, that's the important thing. I think what's important to realize is, again, it's almost like you remember that motto where it's like hope for the best, but in a way, I don't want to say expect the worst, but you have to just remember that it's a rookie quarterback with a rookie head coach and a rookie offensive coordinator. So that's why when you say, you know, compare it to what they could have been with last year's team, these are new head coaches and offensive coordinators. They weren't. So that's the thing. So I think we have the right people in place. And I agree with your sentiment that I've been saying it, you know, for a while now, that I can't think of a single position that Joe Douglas didn't address, even if it was just a little bit or a lot in free agency in the draft. Our team is stacked. I think we have talent, but with a rookie quarterback, I think you said it best. The sky is the limit, but if we wind up with 6 to 8 wins, we can't be like, you know, that's it. And the fans that are that's a problem.
Yeah. And I'm not like that. I'm just saying, I know this is speculation, but honestly, I have a point that I'm making with this. So what is a win total that you guys think could have been just coaching staff changes?
Yeah, Harrison, you want to give a number?
It's hard to pick. That's the thing. It's like I'm thinking like Salah's 49ers, and
look, if
they did have damn good defenses, and we did have.
Yeah, I just there's a point to the
okay, I'm gonna go with. I'm crunching shit here, bro. I'm going through like positions. I'm gonna go with like 6 to 9.
Okay, so let's
6 to 9.
I'm gonna go a little further than that. Okay, just and give me a moment on this one, because the reality is that what it is that we know about what the 49ers did last season and what it is that we are kind of extrapolating to what it is that we had here. Sam Darnold's a better quarterback. Okay. We do have a better defense. We do have a little bit more versatility with our play calling and with our scheme. And I'm just going to be honest, there were some games last season that we were kind of close in that I think that we may have pulled out fairly easily if we had, I guess all things, just being reversed, right? So I would say 7-8 wins last season, no question. I don't think without a doubt.
So we got 6 from Harrison, we got 7 from Kevin. CJ, what do you think we could have done
last year
with this new coaching staff on last year's roster?
This year's coaching staff on last year's roster, I definitely think we could have gotten 5 to 6 wins.
Okay, so we'll just say 5. So I got 5, 6, 7, and Scott in the comments 4 or 5. Okay, so let's take Scott's 4. Now, when you take into account that we had the second hardest schedule in the NFL last year, and you're talking about in between, let's call it 3 to 6 wins more, right? So if we take the average, I think the average would have been, because I think the same thing, probably 5 or 6 wins. So if we take the average of what everybody's saying, and we could have won 5, call it 6, just to average it all out.
Okay.
You got to think that with almost a twice as easy schedule, with, like Harrison was saying, we've improved almost every key position that we needed to improve.
Literally all of them.
You can't tell me that if that roster last year could have won 5 or 6, you can't tell me that we're not looking at 9 or 10. Like, you can't tell me that we're not capable of that with the additions that we've made. So that's been, and I'm not saying that it is as like, bank on 10 wins, guys, bank on 9 wins. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the possibility is there. We are capable of doing it. And I'm liking the schedule, man. I think it's going to be great.
I'm liking the way And again, to go to the point about the rookie head coaches, right? We've seen other rookie head coaches in maybe similar situations. I guess maybe, I mean, when you talk about our situation,
Mhm.
have success and look like 10 wins their first season. Even the cat in San Diego a few years ago. I can't remember, his name is escaping me right now, but I
Anthony Lynn,
no, not Lynn, the guy. I'm gonna say me before him. Excuse me.
Joey
But
Bosa, Nick Bosa.
no, the coach is
The
who I'm
coach is
thinking of.
Anthony Lynn.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the coach that
The
was before,
coach,
the coach before Lynn.
Schottenheimer?
Was he the head coach before? Yeah.
Was it Brian Schottenheimer? It might have been Brian Schottenheimer.
Okay. One of
Or
the
maybe not.
yeah, one of those guys. One of those guys ended up having a 10 win season coming in. I just remember discussing how impressed I was at having, something like that happen when you have kind of a middle tier roster. But as of right now, I think our roster has improved. Not to mention the fact that our coaching has improved. We can expect improvements in all facets, offense, defense, and also in special teams. Now let's not forget that now. Yeah, 10 wins is again. I said it initially. It's not far fetched. It is not far fetched at all.
Yeah, but there's something you're missing. Oh, I got a curveball for you, man, that you may not be considering, Jimmy. If last year's team, let's say Robert Saleh and in a magical universe, Adam Gase sucked so much in 2019 that they were like, you don't get it 2020. Like, that's it. And they hired Saleh last year and all that. If they do have 5, 6, 7, 8 wins, Sam Darnold's your quarterback this year.
Yes, but
you never got Zach Wilson.
Nope.
And I want Zach Wilson. I want Zach Wilson.
I do too. My point being is, like Joe Douglas said in his press conference when Sam got traded, Joe Douglas specifically said, hey, if we were picking 10, 11, 12,
Sam's
we wouldn't be looking at a new quarterback. This trade would have never happened. And if Sam Darnold in 2020, if he would have gotten us to the point where we're picking, if he would have gotten us those 5, 6, 7 wins, I'm okay with that, because that shows that the regression was stopped and now we're moving forward. That's my point.
That's the point I was making also. Sam Darnold's a better quarterback with better coaching last season. Period. Point blank.
I agree.
Yeah, but the way I look at it, man, is the old I think it's like a proverb or something. You throw a rock in a river with a current. You try to fight the current. You can't go. Sometimes some things bring you to your destiny, and I feel like everything had to happen the way it did to bring us to Zach, and
yeah,
I'm cool with it. Like we're gonna look back at this, and so that could have been the case, but we're gonna realize how much better off we are really quickly.
Well, yeah, CJ.
Well, as far as the schedule is concerned, this is my thoughts on it. And I mean, it's interesting. There's a lot of good matchups on here, which we're actually going to talk about. Obviously, we're going to specifically jump into the week 1 matchup against Carolina in just a little bit. But I definitely see some potential for the Jets to actually be competitive with this schedule. Really, the biggest thing, and I've echoed this sentiment on a couple of shows in the past, and I'm going to continue to echo this sentiment here. I want to see the Jets go 500 in our own division. You have to split against Buffalo, no matter how tough they are. You have to split against Miami, no matter how tough you are. And you have to split against New England. I don't care if they spent $165 million in free agency. Right. I don't care. Okay. In order for you to continue, in order for you to move forward, you need to actually take that step forward. Okay. So I know that there are teams on this schedule when you go and take a look, like we play the Falcons this year, we play the Colts this year, we play the Saints this year, we play the Eagles, a team that the Jets have never beaten this year. Okay. There are teams on this schedule in which could make your eyes roll to the back of your head going, great. How are we going to match up against this team? How are we going to match up against this? Or how are we going to match up against that team? Okay. But there are also other things to consider. We do not know yet what the 53-man roster is going to look like. We also do not know what other teams' 53-man rosters are going to look like this upcoming season. Now, I want to go into the comments really quick because Simon Baccarella brought up a huge point.
What's up, Simon?
Exactly, bro. Panthers added a top cornerback. They have Christian McCaffrey back and drafted another top wide receiver. Every team is different. Completely agree with you, Simon. But here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to touch on Carolina. I'm going to dip my toe in the pool, but then I'm going to pull it out a little bit because I still have a couple other points that I want to make. in regards to Carolina, yes, they did add some pieces, but you know where their biggest problem still is? The
Sam
offensive line. And guess where Sam Darnold just came from? A team that still had offensive line problems last year. And you know what? Carolina's offensive line was not much better than the New York Jets last year. And we all saw the different tendencies from Sam Darnold of him hanging on to the ball, okay, overthrowing receivers, underthrowing receivers, turning the ball over. I don't believe that in one game under coach Matt Rule and whatever offense that they're going to be running, I don't give a damn who their skill position players are. That switch in Sam Darnold's head is not going to flip on automatically.
No.
Okay? So I expect Sam Darnold to get his ass kicked in week 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plain and simple. I don't care who's back there. Go bring up Vince Lombardi from the dead. Go dig him up. I got a shovel in the shed I'll give you. I don't give a damn who's coaching the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers were a 5-11 football team last year. Now, you could say that the Jets were a 2-14 football team yet. Absolutely. Okay? But take a look at the Jets on paper last year versus this year, and the team is much improved. And right now, that's all we have to go on. All we have to go on is players that were added, the pieces of paper that are in front of us, the names that were added. Right now, this New York Jets team is currently constructed. Going into 2021 is a much deeper and much more talented team than the team that took the field in 2020. Hands down.
Best wide receiver room improvements in the NFL.
Facts.
Yep.
Facts.
Hey, Simon, I got something for you, Simon. I got a cheat sheet here of all the draft picks. You're talking about how much you love J.C. Horn. What if I told you the Jets corner that they got in the 5th round, big guy out of Pitt, Jason Pinnock, was better than Horn with completion percentage allowed against last year? He was as good as Horn and Derek Stingley. And we got this kid in the 5th round.
Yeah, that's a difficult stat. He gave up.
I still think you need to watch your mouth with that Derek Stingley comment.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, look,
I put the stats up, bro. I pinned them on my tweet.
I get that. I get that. And I actually like that stat. The other stat that just to kind of throw something at that though. Kid gave up 5 touchdowns a season as a starter for 3 years in a row. So he gives up the big play. It is something that we need to be mindful of. But I do think that we've got talent, and again, we're going to address that, as we move further along. But Simon again just kind of brings us back to the reality that while we have all of these high expectations for what it is that we believe we can do, we need to temper them still just a little bit, because it does have to fall the way that we need for it to fall in order for us to see any of these meaningful football late in the season.
Yeah. If I may, Kev, quick, because that's actually the biggest knock on Jason Pinnock. Like the stats are all there, the numbers are there, but he gets beat deep, which is true. He gets beat by the speedy receivers. But anyone who's a Pitt fan, anybody who, I'm very close with a couple of Pitt fans, and who's a Pitt fan, will tell you that their outside CBs are always on an island. They have no help over the top whatsoever. And you look at a guy like Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall's got about 4.5 speed. Jason Pinnock also has 4.5 speed. Hall's not going to, you put a guy like Tyreek Hill, a speedy guy on Hall, he's getting beat over the top every damn time. But he's a physical, big receiver. He plays the ball well. He's good in coverage. The physicality, again, is key. Pinnock is just like that. They're going to have help over the top in the NFL. Hall is just like Pinnock in so many ways. Hall would get beat the same ways. So I'm telling you, man, I see the two of them on the outside with help over the top just killing it.
If Pinnock is even remotely similar to what it is that we saw in Bryce Hall, we're good.
All right, so now I want to move on to actually talking about I kind of, okay, fine. I didn't just stick my toe in. I stuck my whole friggin' leg into the pool. Okay, so this time we'll go in a different order. Jimmy, I'm going to start with you. Kevin, you're going to go after Jimmy, and then Harrison will follow it up. Week 1, Jets, Carolina. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what particular matchups. Let's try and keep it as brief as possible, because I also have another piece that I want to piggyback off of the week 1 with Carolina.
Matchups that I want to see, or that I'm excited to see, is I'm excited to see this nasty front seven we have take Christian McCaffrey and shut his ass down. Just, I think it can happen. I think he's spent so much time off the field over the last, call it a year and a half, that I think he's going to be struggling a little bit week one. He's going to be a little bit rusty, and they really didn't improve the offensive line in Carolina, as was pointed out earlier. So I really want to see this front seven just kind of take Christian McCaffrey and hang him up to dry real quick. And I'm saying it now. I'm saying it now. But the other one that I think everybody is sleeping on is I can't wait to, because we always have this whole comment. We messed up getting rid of Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson is a one-trick pony, and he is a weak give up on a route receiver. And I'm glad he's gone. I didn't want nothing to do with him. And we're moving forward now with a better thing. Robbie Anderson would get mugged on the routes he actually finished. He would get mugged probably 2/3 of the time because he's just small, he's slight, he's weak, and I'm okay with him being gone. I don't care. That matchup with Sam Darnold being back in Carolina with Robbie Anderson, that is such an overrated sentiment. That is such an overrated storyline that I laugh every time I see people talk about it. And they say, well, Joe Douglas said that he misjudged Robbie Anderson on the trade. No, he misjudged the trade value, period. He didn't say that he was mad that he traded him. He misjudged the value. Joe Douglas thought we could get more. And that was where the misjudging was. So I'm ready to see our defense handle it. And I think that's the biggest thing is just squash all of these rumors, the Robbie Anderson hater or the Robbie Anderson lovers, the Sam Darnold lovers, all of that gets rolled into this one game. And I absolutely love it. And I can't wait to show that Joe Douglas was right in both cases.
All right, Kevin, you're on deck. Go for it.
All right. I think Jimmy and I have some similar takes on this one. Aside from the Robbie Anderson, I'll address.
Yeah,
that
I'm probably a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to contradict that.
Not just a little bit. I think you OD'd on that, and I'm not even. Hold on. But the reality is that what I'm expecting to see is Sam Darnold rattled all game. Because this, I mean, look, we always understand that the defense has a little bit of a head start when it comes to, just being ready and being capable. And I think that, even if we're not fully, I guess enmeshed as a defensive front coming into that game, I do still think that our talent overrates theirs. Depending upon how Quinnen comes back from the surgery, we can expect to probably see Sam under pressure most of the game, and that would be obviously to our benefit. As far as our offense, I think that Carolina's defense may actually pose a little bit of a threat, especially when we're talking about, having a rookie quarterback coming in his first game. As long as Zach isn't frazzled and doesn't begin to press and do some things that, obviously we have the expectation that rookies will do. Mm-hmm. I think we'll still be in good shape. I honestly I wouldn't expect to see Zach throw more than 20, 25 times all game. I'm actually expecting to see quite a bit of our running back room. And I mean, I'm expecting to see all of them, whichever ones are actually still here at that point. Michael Carter, Josh Adams, all those guys. And Ty, I'm expecting to see all of them touch the ball a few times. I'm expecting to see a lot of the outside stuff, that is, kind of indicative of what this offense has been doing. Look, I'm just gonna say this, and Jim, I know you have your opinions on Robbie. There's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to agree with you when it comes to what it is that you're saying about Robbie Anderson being a one.
Be a boring show if you
I think that the 1,000-yard season, especially with the limited, kind of offensive opportunities that they had last season, especially on a 5-win team, I think that he demonstrated, quite a bit. I think Joe Douglas did necessarily say that he did misjudge the entire situation because he felt like there was some monetary difference in what the contracts would be. But as far as play is concerned, Robbie would have made this team better last season over what it is that we got from Bashard Perriman. Doesn't necessarily have that same injury issue that we saw from them. And I mean, it's a small thing. It's a small thing in comparison. Like, this is not even something that we need to kind of spend too much time on. And I know Harrison's going to touch on it, also in just a minute. But I really always want to draw back to this main point about what we were looking at. This is the Jets. You know what I'm saying? We've been a horrible, horrible organization. We've been a really bad offense. We've been, just bottom of the barrel when it comes to quite a bit. And when it comes to talent in particular, Robbie was our guy, man. No, Robbie's not Julio Jones, but Robbie was our one. Robbie was the guy that we went to, when we kind of needed it. And yeah, you'll see, some plays that you might, he probably wishes he had back. But when we really needed something to happen, to be perfectly honest with you, it was Robbie or it was almost nobody. So look, I know you don't like Robbie. I'm going to be the one that will just tell you. I personally think that we would have been a better team with Robbie. Does that mean 3 or 4 game difference in wins? No, but I still think the offense would have actually had some dimensions that we didn't have were he here. And again, the Carolina Panthers, again, middle of the road team with the expectation that we're going to be better. Obviously, we can't say that we're on their level, but I do believe that we show that we are better than them as we come out. And I'll be in attendance for that game. So if anybody's there, they're on me. Holla at your boy.
Holla at your boy.
You can only say that Robbie, the 1,000-yard season or whatever he had in Carolina, like the reason that happened was because of DJ Moore. Period. When Robbie Anderson is the focus, he gets shut down and he doesn't know what to do when he's the number one guy. Period. So
that again is that's irrelevant really when you're talking about what his role is. Again, he's not a number one receiver, but he was. And again, even in this offense here, if there was a compliment to him, that just makes him more dangerous in this offense. And again, we're coming back to it being the Jets, and we haven't had any of those things. So the fact that we didn't have any of those things, and he still showed what it is that he showed with regards to him being able to put up some things. And there's film, Jim. There's film of him, catching crossing routes and catching the comebacks and catching all of these different, patterns. There's film of all of that. So yeah, coming into the league, I would say maybe one trick pony, but that's not where it is that he's at right now in his career. And we'll see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure. But what it is that I'm hoping and what I expect for us to see is some improvement from our cornerbacks. There's so much pressure coming in Sam Darnold's face that he's not going to have many opportunities to go deep as it is anyway. Harrison, what do you think? Where you at, bro?
Yeah, man. So I was going to say kind of the last thing.
Like Darren Lee. Period.
I was going to say basically the same thing you were just saying, Kev, at the end there, where I'm going to start with Robbie Anderson because, man, he was my guy. Like, he was an undrafted guy that walked onto the team. I even wrote an article back in 2017 that he was more than just a deep threat. And everyone's like, you're crazy. That's not true. He was. I was going to say the sentiment that you said, Kev. He made the big catches. He would always go up and get the contested catch. I mean, if you look at the NFL right now, like with Corey Davis. Yes, he did, bro. Yes, he did. Watch him in his rookie year, man. I watched this kid go up in double coverage and make the catch above those guys. He was tough. I mean, he's not a beast. And yeah, he can use another guy, but kind of like what I was getting at with Corey Davis and Denzel Mims. That's a great combination right now. Exactly. And yeah, last year you give more the credit, but Anderson still was there. He still produced, and his numbers are still his numbers regardless. Like, he put that up. Like, he did that. I thought he was going to break out when he got to Carolina. I didn't think he'd have as big a year as he did, but I thought he'd be good. I'm a fan. I mean, I liked him as an undrafted guy. And I get not paying him, but I was a fan. Like, I liked Robbie Anderson. I liked him, again, an undrafted guy out of nowhere, pushed to make the team, pushed to first make the 53. If you saw him in that preseason back in 2017, he was, like, amazing. Like, I remember, like, he was awesome. Like, the catches he was making. Like, he was just, like, it was back that year. I was actually at the game where, I can't even remember the year. We're going back, like, over a decade, where the Jets were playing the Giants in the preseason, and Victor Cruz was playing his first game. And I don't know if you remember that game. Dude, Victor Cruz treated like it was a Madden game. Victor Cruz had like 400 yards and like 3 touchdowns. Like, it didn't matter who was throwing him the ball. Like, there were 3 different quarterbacks, and Victor Cruz put up like 100 yards with each of them. Like, he proved he had to make that team. And I feel like Anderson did the same thing. Like, he was my guy. And I felt like he could make those catches. But again, yeah, he's not going to be as tough as Mims or Davis. But being a great deep threat is an underrated aspect if you are great at being a deep threat. And that's the thing. Hooking back up with Sam's best throws, Sam's best years, Sam's best deep balls were to Robbie Anderson. And he's got more talent now. You mentioned it. He's got more. He's got talent. McCaffrey, we hope we light him up, but there's talent there. Like, that is a talented Carolina team. And their offensive line, like CJ said, isn't much better than ours, but it is better than ours because ours was like the freaking worst. So it is a little bit better.
Our offensive line was middle of the pack at the end of last season, but I definitely get the point.
Yeah, man. So when it comes to Carolina, I'm with you guys. I'm hoping and praying that we come out and we light it up and Zach looks amazing in his first game and we kill it and the defense looks great. But that other thing I just said is the most important thing. It's Zach's first game. This is Sam Darnold's 39th game. So, I mean, he should have been in more games because the dude's been injured, but it's his 39th game. This is Zach's first. So, like, I hope we kill it. But what I know is going to happen if Sam Darnold lights it up, which, again, it's a 39th game. I mean, he should. In theory, he should. And Zach's playing his first game. If Sam plays better than Zach, the next day, Jimmy, you talked about the media narrative. The next day is going to be, we never should have traded Sam. It was a mistake. Zach Wilson's a bust after one freaking game. And that's my fear. That's my biggest fear. So I remind everybody, Zach Wilson is playing in his first ever NFL game. Sam Darnold, whether we like it or not, has been around the block. He's playing in his 39th on a better team with a better coach than Adam Gase. Not Saleh, but than Adam Gase. So if Zach Wilson doesn't do as well as Sam Darnold, don't spin that narrative. That's all I have to say. We got our guy. Zach Wilson is going to be better. And one day we're going to look back and know we made the right decision. But it's probably not going to be the first freaking game this kid plays.
Yeah, we're expecting drama. At least I know I am. I'm expecting, regardless. Look, if Zach doesn't come out and throw for 350 and 3 touchdowns and we blow him out, there's going to be something said. I mean, again, this is still the Jets and this is still Jets fans. So, I love most of you guys.
I'm just saying it shouldn't. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't judge a guy after one game. I hope you're right, bro. I hope the talent is there. We said it, bro. This team is stacked on stacked on stacked. So if everything lines up and they play well, and it comes down to Zach, Jim, you said it. A rookie quarterback is like the most volatile thing. So, like, if he lights it up, the sky's the freaking limit.
I think the one real quick point I want to make on this is we talk about how what Sam Darnold was as a quarterback. Like I think we've all kind of agreed that he's kind of a middle of the pack, Tannehill level talent. He's going to be in between that 15 to 20 range.
It's kind of an insult to Tannehill.
Yeah, I don't know. I
agree. I'm just giving Sam Darnold some credit, but what I'm saying is I think what people realize is we shouldn't settle for mediocrity at the quarterback position. And I think people are settling for mediocrity when they talk about Robbie Anderson. I think that it's just people just like him because he was able to produce on a bad Jets team, but that doesn't mean he's the good option. We got Zach Wilson, who is objectively a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Now we have Denzel Mims, objectively a better receiver than Robbie Anderson. Corey Davis, objectively a better receiver than Robbie Anderson. Keelan Cole probably is at that Robbie Anderson level as far as production.
No, not Cole.
I wouldn't agree with that.
I give you the first two.
Yeah, and Harrison, we're on the same page because I was getting ready to say.
But Cole's a human highlight reel, bro. Keelan Cole is a human highlight reel. Don't sleep on that kid.
Cole's decent. I would still prefer to have Robbie than Keelan Cole. Period. No.
Well, also put it this way, if I could jump into this,
please.
You guys have actually made some tremendous points here, and I mean, seriously, we could do an entire show just on the breakdown of Carolina, and the Jets and so on and so forth. But let's save all those bullets in the chamber for when it is time to actually go into this deepest. But look, let me just put a nice little bow on it because we're starting to come up against it a little bit here. In plain English, look, Sam Darnold, he's going to a place where there's better coaching, better skill position players, better offensive weapons around him. Okay, I'm still not completely sold on Carolina's defense, and I think that if the Jets can actually show up with a competent offense, they can exploit Carolina. I expect this game to be a fist fight. That's why I put it in the title of this show. And I expect the Jets to go down to Carolina. I expect it to be a tough game. I expect it to be a physical game. And I expect a lot of people to get their asses kicked straight up and down. Okay, but I think we're also going to learn a lot about Robert Saleh. We're going to learn a lot about Mike LaFleur. We're going to learn a lot about Zach Wilson in this game. Okay, and we're also going to learn a lot about our wide receiving core. The defense has never been the issue on this team, guys. It has never been the issue. The issue on this team has been the offense, okay? And the thing that I want to see is, can the offensive unit go out there and produce points? Can you go out there and actually score? Can we get touchdowns instead of field goals? Can you take advantage of field position? Okay. So this is going to be a huge, huge test for Robert Saleh. But not only for Robert Saleh, for Zach Wilson, because of the points that Harrison just put out there about the New York media narrative. If the Jets were to lose this game, okay? And
or if
Brian
Zach were to just look like a
Costello
rookie playing his first game, which is what
Right.
he is.
Right. And here's where again I have to ask Jet fans to keep things in perspective.
Please.
Okay, and please keep the comments going right after our commercial break. I promise I'm going to get these comments on the air. You guys are making some tremendous points in the comments, and I want to read these on the air. And thank you again to everybody who's joining us live tonight. So one of the biggest things about this Carolina game, Brian Costello earlier in the week called this a Sam Darnold revenge game.
I ripped him apart on Twitter.
Okay. Jimmy absolutely went after Brian Costello on Twitter, on Facebook. I mean, he completely went after him, and so did a couple of other Jet fans as well. Now, look,
I don't follow Kaz anymore.
Right,
Or if I have to be honest, if I had to rank them all, like Kaz is like way at the bottom for me.
Yeah,
like he's
I
a whole hop, skip, and a barrel down at the bottom.
I don't even follow Kaz anymore.
So here's the thing. Regardless of what you see, everything that we're actually going through now, we're all going through because of what we're seeing on paper, what the Jets' current roster is on paper, what Carolina's roster is on paper.
Yeah.
Now, there are some people that will give Carolina the edge, like Simon Baccarella in the comments, which I'm actually going to read. And there's also all of us, which we each have our own individual opinions in regards to this game. I think, believe it or not, this is going to be a good litmus test for the New York Jets. I think this is going to be a good litmus test for Robert Saleh. I think this is going to be a tremendous opportunity for Zach Wilson getting his first start, being able to finally get his feet wet in NFL action. And I really want to see what this machine can do. And look, this is going to be a process. It's going to be a process. But I expect this game to be a tough, physical game. I expect there to be some turnovers. Sam's definitely going to turn that ball over because you know what? I expect the Jets pass rush to get after him. I really do. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, but we could also be looking at some problems on the offensive side of the ball too. Some rhythm timing, hopefully we don't see those rookie mistakes out of Zach Wilson that we saw out of Sam Darnold, his first start against Detroit. Okay. Remember, Sam Darnold's first NFL pass was a pick six on Monday Night Football.
So was Peyton Manning's, though.
So
Never living that down.
Right.
here's
It's like the butt fumble.
So here's the thing. So there's still a lot of time between now that the schedule has just been released and the time when this game actually kicks off. A lot of things can happen. We'll have a clearer picture of the 53-man roster, and then we can really break it down into a fine powder and actually match everything up and then really go into. But right now, you have people that feel Carolina's better matched, and you have people that feel that the Jets are better matched. So right now, again, you got both teams with the depth chart written in sand.
Yeah.
So right now, it doesn't matter, okay? Because we're talking about this on May 14th when nobody really gives a damn. Okay, when we're looking at this September 12th, okay, when we actually kick this game off, is it September 12th? Yeah, September 12th. Okay, then we can have a conversation prior to that with the actual meat and potatoes. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming up against it. All right. So we are going to take our first and only commercial break of the night. On the flip side, when we get back, we've got a couple of different segments. Okay. Mr. Kevin Jackson bringing his Emmy Award nominated segment back called In the Spotlight. So he is going to tell us who he has in the white hot spotlight tonight. Plus, we also take a look at the New York Jets schedule again, and each one of us is going to pick out a very particular matchup aside from week one off of the schedule in which we think is going to be extremely intriguing for the New York Jets this upcoming 2020 season. So all of that. On the flip side, you're watching Weapons Hot, a New York Jets fan broadcast here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit them online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com, or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Weapons Hot, a New York Jets fan broadcast here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Got a little sound bit for you to play, if it'll ever play.
Still.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. I like it.
CJ the Painkiller D. Simone here on the other side of the glass. Mr. Kevin Jackson at Spotty Blackman. Mr. Jimmy the Reaper Jardine at Jets by Jimmy. And, of course, our rookie test pilot, Harrison the Fireball Glazer. And here we are. There's one of you that actually said that they needed wanted to make a quick point before we get back on, before actually I turn the stage over to Mr. Kevin Jackson. So who is it here?
Yeah, man, just quick. It's an interesting thing. So before I was thinking, the volatility of, the rookie head coach. Interesting thing, though, that goes, well with that kind of situation. When you have a rookie head coach, rookie offense coordinator, rookie quarterback, a whole new team, completely rebuilt. How do you watch film for that? Like, you got to mash shit up. Like, you're watching the 49ers film. Like, okay, how is this going to work with Zach Wilson at BYU? So we have the element of surprise. So that's an excellent element to have in those first couple of weeks, because those first 2 to 4 weeks, teams are still going to be figuring us out. Yeah. So that is the time to stick it to them.
I think it'll actually be more than that. I think that our running game is probably going to be the most prevalent aspect of what it is that we see. And I'm also, the expectation in Carolina is that we'll probably have one, possibly two running backs approach 100 yards that game.
I hope it's Michael Carter and Ty Johnson, maybe.
Both of those two would be my choices.
I don't think so, actually. I think that Ty Johnson and Josh Adams are on the outs. I think they're the ones that are going to have to be fighting. Listen, but here's why. Here's why, though. Because Joe Douglas, Michael P. Ryan was a Joe Douglas draft pick, and he's young. So remember, Douglas wants to build through the draft. I see LaMichael Pirine being like an RB2, RB3 option, and maybe Ty Johnson and Josh Adams fighting for a spot.
So I look at it the opposite, man. I mean,
And
I don't know. Did you see my video take?
Listen, Harrison.
Be
I'm going to
careful.
stop you right there
Be
because
careful.
otherwise I'm going to go on a 30-minute rant
About LaMichael.
About
so
LaMichael
freaking
Pirine.
wrong. Okay, and we got a lot of stuff we got to cover, and we got a hard stop at 8:00. So do me a favor, stick a sock in it.
Moving on.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk about it on Weapons Hot After Dark. I promise.
Right.
You and I are going to have this debate. This debate is happening.
You're gonna get ganged up on, CJ.
Bring it.
I don't get it. I think Kevin agrees with me, bro.
Let's move.
I'm backing
move.
CJ.
All I'd say quick is I think LaMichael Pirine is the one on the outs, and that Ty Johnson and Josh Adams proved it last year as a two-headed monster when they got the opportunity. That's the thing, when they got the opportunity. But even though we'll get into it, but that's the guys, man.
Like I said, we'll save that for an edition of Weapons Hot After Dark, so that way I could really let it rip. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, it is now time for Mr. Kevin Jackson to take us in the spotlight.
In the spotlight with Kevin Jackson. Spotlight.
All right.
Kev, who do we got in the spotlight today?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in the spotlight today, and we're going to touch upon this a little further along, but in the spotlight tonight, our defensive assistant, Mr. Tony Oden. We talked quite a bit following the draft about what our late round draft picks look like, right? And yeah, we picked up a couple of safeties that are going to convert to linebacker, but then we took 3 whole swings at cornerback. And knowing that cornerback was a extremely, important position of need for us. Excuse me if I can get my words together. We didn't actually address it early, and the expectation was that we would. Now, the reason why Tony Odom, in particular, is in the spotlight this week is because he is he's our cornerbacks coach. And with the cornerback room looking the way that it does, with some guys who have some experience, Bryce Hall, who I think is number 1 corner on the team at this point in time, hands down, no question. And maybe some questions about if Bless Austin actually can regain some of the form he had towards the end of his rookie season, and what it is that we're going to get out of some of these guys. I think when Harrison said Pinnock earlier, the guy has a lot of talent. Are we going to be able to bring around his awareness? And Tony Odom, to me, is just standing out as of right now as having one of the most impactful positions on this defense currently.
Yeah, and you mentioned cornerback. What about those 2 slot guys we got?
No, see, and that's what I'm talking about. So just in general, our defensive backfield is a huge question for what it is that we're going to be able to do. Again, our defense, and CJ made a great point earlier. We've never really had where our defense was so bad and our offense was good. It's always been the other way around. And the Jets in particular, historically, have always been a better defensive team than we have been offensively. And I think that it is going to still translate to that. But the one glaring need beyond our linebackers, and we'll discuss that again a little bit later, is our cornerbacks. And Tony Odom, just to discuss him in particular, played outside linebacker in college. So has some bona fides in that regard. Bounced around the college ranks for 8 years before he got his first job with the Texans as a defensive assistant in 2004. Was there for a couple years. Has been with the Texans, been with the Saints, Jaguars, Buccaneers, Lions, Dolphins, and last year again as the safeties coach for the 49ers last season. So look, the guy has history with Robert Saleh. I think that's the reason why he's here. He's got varied experiences, not just in playing linebacker, but in coaching cornerbacks and safeties. I think he's going to have a huge impact on what it is that we do on the back end. I would say at this point, if we do have some questions about what happens with Marcus May, that is also going to kind of lend itself to what it is that we do around those positions. And look, with Michael Carter II having some of the question marks that he has, with Pinnock having some of the question marks that he has, with Eccles, me. Yeah, Eccles, who is I think, and I'll just say this, Eccles, as far as the cornerback is concerned, I think he is the most intriguing prospect because I think his athleticism kind of separates him from the other guys.
What about Michael Carter's athleticism?
Yeah, but
he was faster.
Yeah, I don't think he's as physically imposing as what it is that we want. And again, we're talking about slot corners. Slot corners are exactly where they're going to that too, that too. But look, we have a lot of questions in the cornerback room, and I think it's one of the positions that we're going to end up, addressing early 2022. Excuse me. But Tony Odom right now is going to have his work cut out for him with trying to establish who it is that we're going to have outside of Bryce Hall on the outside, or who is it that we're going to have in the slot. How it is that if we do have maybe some issues up front, if Quinnen doesn't come back from the foot injury at 100%, and we don't necessarily get the type of pass rush that we expect from those from that front four, and the rotation that we have there, the cornerbacks are going to end up being again, kind of out in the spotlight. So Tony Odom right now has his work cut out for it. We have, and I don't think that anybody in the comments or anybody that's listening to the show right now would question the fact that between linebacker and cornerback, those are the two most glaring needs that we have on the defense. The cornerbacks to me just stands out a little further because I think that we addressed it. I like what they did with Nazir Rosine, and I like what they did with bringing in Jamie. And I think those guys are going to help out doing what it is that we saw kind of Jamal Adams doing, that kind of a hybrid position. So I think we're in a much better situation with that aspect of the team. The cornerbacks to me, and Jim, as a cornerback, we focus on this stuff. The cornerbacks, that's the thing that makes me kind of sit back and want to bite my nails. And Tony Odom actually being the guy who's responsible for that. I know he's the lead defensive assistant, but his role as cornerbacks coach and getting these guys ready and prepared, knowing that it's going to be, these guys are going to get picked on. That you can almost guarantee that that's what it's going to be. Yeah. These guys are going to get picked on. And if he doesn't get them together, it's going to be really difficult for us to be competitive. So in the spotlight tonight, Tony Odom, I don't even go too deep into that. It's more philosophically for me what his role is going to be in preparing these guys going forward. And he's got a lot to work with. He's got a lot of lumps of clay, but nothing outside of Bryce Hall that really is formed fully. And even Bryce to an extent may not be formed fully, but I think he is the furthest ahead and furthest along and probably the best cornerback that we have on the roster currently. What do you guys think? Am I off base, or you guys have anything to add?
Well, man, I think it's interesting that you brought up defensive back because you remember we talked about it, and I have my take. Remember saying that linebacker was such an infinitely bigger need, that we at least had talent that was proven and was coming back healthy. Healthy was the key.
I thought we did a little more to address it.
That's what I was getting at, man. So you're right. Cornerback, people thought was more of a need. Linebacker was bigger of a need. Now cornerback is bigger of a need because Joe Douglas killed it with the freaking linebackers, man. And again, just I mentioned it, last time when we talked about the draft, just this dude playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. Like, he takes a safety, and I'm like, like I admit, because you guys know I'm a teacher. I don't have all the time to dig in like guys like Daniel Jeremiah do. I look into the positions I feel like the Jets need the most. I look at depth. I look at later rounds, but I didn't really dig into the safeties. I hadn't looked into them too much, but I knew that Sherwood is like a monster. Like, this dude murders people and like knocks them out. Yeah. Like, that was his thing. Then the Jets announced linebacker Jamie and Sherwood, and my brains just splatter on the black wall behind me as I process that Joe Douglas is infinitely smarter than I even imagined him to have been. Because I think immediately, remember how excited we were about Keanu Neal? Yeah. Remember how excited we were about a Keanu Neal type playing at a 4-3 outside linebacker? Douglas got two of them. And right when he took Sherwood, my immediate thought was, okay, well, if you're taking a safety to play linebacker, I would have preferred Hamza. Like, that was my immediate thought. Then he gets Hamza in the 6th. Like, dude, Hamza Nasruddin, this kid checked people's mocks. He was mocked between the second legit day 2 pick and the 4th round. Second to fourth. I've been saying it. Yeah. This kid was mocked 2nd to 4th. He was considered a top talent. How we got him in the 6th round, I have no idea. These two guys at linebacker are going to be sideline to sideline, crazy fast, crazy agile, good in coverage. Like, they were good in coverage as safeties. Now as linebackers, they're almost elite in coverage. I put a video up of Nasruddin playing a tight end. Dude, he played that guy. He got the ball. Both these kids are ball hawks. They find the ball. And when you think about it, like with Neal, when a linebacker lines up at the line of scrimmage, isn't he really just a box safety? And that's what these two kids are dominant at. Yeah. Like, they're going to get to the quarterback. It's exciting. It's what the two of them are going to do. But you mentioned corner being a big issue. One thing I love about Joe Douglas, he took corners, like you mentioned. He took one outside guy and two inside slot guys. And one of those guys was safety, Michael Carter, like you mentioned. But this is something legit I noticed, and I realized Douglas has a type, and I love it. Like the 40 times of our 3 slot corners right now, Guidry ran a 4.29, Michael Carter ran a 4.3, and Eccles ran a 4.34. I never thought I'd say a sentence where the slowest guy ran a 4.34. Like, he likes speed. And you mentioned it before, actually. I feel like all 3 of them, like, I legit looked at my comps and the way I thought about all of them. I'm like, wait a minute. All 3 are very physical corners for their size because they're on the smaller size, but they also thrive in man coverage. And when Saleh drafted Michael Carter, he went through like a list. I don't know if you remember, like with the other guys, he mentioned one thing. With Michael Carter, he's like, hold on a sec. You know, like pulled out a list.
Right? Is that what you're talking about?
When he drafted him. Yeah, MC2.
Second?
MC2.
Okay.
When he drafted him, I have it right here. Like the other guy's got a sentence. He said to this guy, hold on, got it right here. We've got a plan for you in this D. Your combination of speed, athleticism, man coverage ability, instincts, smarts, all works in what we do. And it makes me realize, it makes me excited because how mad were we that, Gase couldn't adapt, people think, oh, this is just a zone scheme. No, it's not. This is an everything scheme. These guys are going to play to their strengths. These slot guys are good in man coverage. They can line up on man on the inside. You put Hall on the outside in zone, which he thrives at. You're going to use guys to their strengths. You're actually going to see football done right. So I'm freaking excited, man. And I think we should be excited about that. We have 3 options at slot corner now, all fitting that mold. I mentioned what I thought about Pinnock. I mean, we could definitely get a cornerback in free agency. I know a lot of Jet fans are high on Steven Nelson. I would personally prefer Richard Sherman, but I'm just saying don't sleep on Pinnock, man. I think Pinnock and Bryce Hall can make an excellent combo, especially if you help them over the top with a safety.
I agree.
All right. Jimmy, anything to add?
No, not really. I mean, I like the hire. I think just when you're able to bring in people that you've already worked well together with, then it's always going to be a positive, whether he's a name or not. The fact of the matter is our head coach worked with him on the defense closely and as a coordinator, and they had a good rapport. So the less friction you have on the coaching staff, the better it's going to be for the roster. So, I mean, I'm all for it.
All right. So I got to read this comment on the air really quick. Shout out to Scott Gillespie. Sorry, I'm at work, but I have to respond to what I heard. We're going to sneak up on teams, laugh out loud, like they don't have 3 years of tape on Zach. Like they have no idea what Saleh's going to do on D. That might actually be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I'm going to unlike that. I misread what you were saying. Unlike.
Look, we are going to sneak up on teams though. That's.
I said that, man. I said it, and I doubled down on it. It's because the way you look at it, you hope you have ideas, but you don't have concrete evidence. You don't have singular ways you can look at it. Yes, they're going to have some ability, but they're not going to have all ability. And maybe so. Definitely, at least, like I said, at least week 1, possibly week 2. That's where you have that element of surprise.
So, any truth to Richard Sherman possibly reuniting with the 49ers?
I think that dream is dead.
Okay.
Wait, but the 49ers are coming here.
No, the 49ers.
Oh! I thought he was
Gonzalez in the comments. He just popped in. Sherman wants to go back to the Niners.
I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. It's possible.
Richard Sherman is going to go to the best possible situation for somebody in his position. Hopefully,
it's not going to be the Jets.
No, it's not the Jets to be at this point in time. If it were next season and we had a season under our belts that showed that we had an upward trajectory that kind of fit with him coming in and actually being effective at what we're going to need him to do, then I can see that. But as of right now, I wouldn't expect him. I was thinking earlier if we were going to bring him in, it's because we would have paid him. Outside of that, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm with you,
Kevin. So Frank and Gaglia chiming in. He wants Nelson. Lowell Lichmore chiming in. Scott, the number 1 Jets hater. I love that. Shout out to Thomas Gutman in the comments here. Let's keep it real. The only guys that are going to get exposed in a big way are our 6th round and undrafted cornerbacks. We need an addition like free agent cornerback Steve Nelson. Here's another one for Nelson.
That's why Tony's in the spotlight this week.
One sec, big take though. If we sign Steven Nelson, people don't realize he's a CB2. Bryce Hall is still the CB1.
Still.
That's it. We signed
But
Stephen Hall. He's CB2. Bryce Hall, CB1.
The 6th round draft picks aren't going to be corners for the most part. They're going to be linebackers. So it's not that they're going to be exposed.
Yeah, I think he's talking about
Jason
more
Pinnock was a 5th round
guys.
pick. Yeah, and so was Hall. I mean, that's the thing you got to think about. I think they both got talent. The brilliance of Douglas. Imagine if it is Hall and Pinnock that become great on the outside. Those two guys were 5th round picks. Those were 5th round picks.
We can discuss Hall as a 5th round pick, but he definitely wasn't a 5th round talent. The injury is why it is that he's
round talent.
Right?
Second
Yeah, most of.
Well, you look at, like I said with Pinnock, the talent blows me away. I couldn't believe the numbers, how he compares to so many top guys.
We'll see how it works.
Guys, let me get some of these comments on the air really quick. Again, thank you to everybody who is chiming in here. Florencio Rodriguez chiming in here. It's going to be hard justifying the signing of Coleman to not have him in the 1-2 R back lineup. I say in order: Coleman, Carter, and Johnson. Rob Gonzalez chiming in. Still
this year, yes. Sorry, CJ. This year for Coleman, yes. The 2021 lineup is set. We're going to be okay on running back, but Tevin Coleman is not going to be a Jet in 2022. So that's where my
unless he kills it. Absolutely kills it.
I don't even expect him to stay healthy this whole season. So yeah, look,
I honestly could see Michael Carter being the number 1, Ty Johnson being the number 2, and him being the number 3 and coming in pass sets.
I don't know. We'll see how healthy he is coming in. I just I don't really have any faith in Tevin Coleman. Yeah, the name, and I mean we talked about
beyond a year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we talked about signing names before when we brought Revis and Crow back that last time, and both of them they played like they were 1,000 years old with bad hips. So again, we're talking about we brought in a name because of what we saw. But
Revis was a shutdown corner, dude. He got his check and he shut
Coleman's
down.
not that old a guy. Coleman's still pretty. Coleman's
perfect.
not that old a guy. He just has some injuries in the past.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't.
Even with the talent he brings to the table, I legit think that like Michael Carter and Ty Johnson could still start over him.
I agree. Go ahead, CJ. Never mind.
Really quick over here. Still wouldn't mind seeing Zach City year. Who do you guys like as a bridge quarterback? Foles, Mullins, or the?
I don't love none of them as a.
If I had to pick, I'd take Mullins. If I had to pick, if I had to, I don't want to.
We don't draft. You don't draft a cornerback. You don't draft a quarterback at 2, and then say you're going to bring in a bridge quarterback so he doesn't. No. Zach needs. You get better at playing football by playing football, regardless of whatever it is that you know. Yeah, look, we can bring in a guy. We're going to bring in a veteran guy. Have that guy be the fallback only. Period. That's it. Point.
That's
blank.
why
I don't care.
That's why I like Hoyer, because he's a decent fallback option. He can manage a game when needed. If we were in the same position as say San Francisco, so San Francisco has Jimmy G, so they can take a Trey Lance and run with it.
That's what I said, bro. I said that's what was the plan.
We don't have the luxury of that. Chicago has Andy Dalton. They can let Justin Fields sit. We don't have that luxury. Zach Wilson is going to be the day 1 starter. If you want to bring in a vet, I say bring in a Hoyer for a couple $1 million for a year deal. And I say keep James Morgan on this roster and get him into the goddamn preseason.
Please.
So that we're not take some snaps for Christ's sake.
Look, in the preseason, we should see 2 quarterbacks. We should see Zach. We should see Morgan.
I'm cool with that.
That's it. I don't care about anyone else. Mike White, why the hell is he even still on the roster?
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, look, again.
No, that kid's got a hell of a football IQ. I'll give him that. He has a hell of a football IQ. Like that kid.
Great. So give him a test and let him sit down a multiple choice question and give him a 96. What is he going to do on 3rd down?
And you're killing me.
What is he going to do?
And it fits with the Harvard. So what?
Backwards and run out.
Oh, man, that was funny.
Here it comes.
I finished living 3 years of that with Sam Darnold. You want to watch Mike White do it?
No.
Get the hell out of here.
No.
No, but Jimmy, I think you nailed it right on, man, because I don't look at, you're bringing a quarterback in to be a bridge quarterback. You're bringing a quarterback in to be a mentor, a leader, like when Sam had Josh McCown, that voice in your ear. And people talk about Nick Foles, man. If I don't like Nick Foles in that role. I mean, Nick Foles is a quarterback that's barely been NFL caliber.
He's won a Super Bowl. He wants to start.
But not only that, I feel like.
Give me a second. I'll let you make your point in a moment. Rob Gonzalez just private messaged me over here. He actually sent me a link. Richard Sherman isn't ruling out a return to the Seahawks. This was actually on First Take.
Wow.
So it wasn't on Get Up. This is an actual story.
Yeah, better team, Sitch.
Well, he's been on the West Coast. It
on
makes sense.
YouTube.com. Go and search it up if you want to look for that. Jimmy, go ahead and finish your point.
But Hoyer, I like Hoyer because Hoyer knows his role. He knows he's not a starter. He knows he can play well. You know, he knows he can play decent. He knows he can come in and manage a game. I don't want it, it's that age-old saying: if you have 2 starting quarterbacks, you have 0.
Right.
But Hoyer knows he's a backup, and he knows that he can be called on at any time to come in and manage a game, and that's what I want.
Look, Zach
That's
is the guy.
Flacco,
Zach is the guy.
That's why Flacco was a bad signing last year, because he
wanted to start. He wasn't a mentor. He was a mentor to nobody. I said that from day one. I couldn't believe people were saying that. I couldn't believe that shit. Like, that made me nuts. Like, I'm like, this kid's not a mentor. He's going to try to undermine him. You crazy? He's not a mentor.
You had a better chance of going and actually throwing another $10 million at Josh McCown and having him come back.
I would have taken that action.
I don't think
we
need to give him 10 for him to come back, to be perfectly honest with you. And look, Josh
McCown is as a coach. Get him in as a quarterback coach.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
I think we're good with the quarterback coach that we have, but I do like Josh.
Bring him in put him on the
look, Uncle Josh is the guy, man. Look, I would give Uncle Josh a nice little tight uniform and give him a hat and a clipboard. You know what I'm saying? Give him a hat and a clipboard and let him work it out, because that in honestly, that is where I think is his best role here. And look, we saw how Sam handled having Josh available. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, look, for all of the horrible football that we saw Sam play, some of his best football came after he had an opportunity to watch Josh.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's just keep that real. I like Josh, man. I would bring him back.
Yeah, but what I was trying to say before is, I think, Jimmy, you're right, but for the reason Kev is saying. Like, if we're signing a quarterback right now, we're paying a veteran. It's not to be a bridge, it's to be a mentor. I don't feel like Foles is that. I never felt that way. I never felt like Foles is the guy you want in somebody's ear. But Hoyer's been around for many years. He's been behind Brady for many years. If someone's going to be in his ear, I'd rather Hoyer.
I've evolved on Hoyer a little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I know Jim, we talked about this earlier when you initially proposed it, and you know, I
got eviscerated, Kev. I got eviscerated.
Look, I said he should be signed for that reason.
In the beginning, I didn't like it, but I'm going to keep it real. When you really define the role that we're expecting him to come in and play, I'm not sure if there really is, other than what's the guy from Lord have mercy, I'm gonna draw a blank on his name. I'm getting old, guys. Excuse me. Beathard, I think, whatever you talking about.
Beathard, he's a young kid.
Having a capable backup, right? I'm thinking we're talking about on-field play, but when we're talking about a mentor, because at this point in time, the expectation is the offensive line is going to be enough improved that we're not going to be looking at having Zach in danger of being injured. If that is the case, then obviously what it is that we need is somebody that's going to be able to work him through the X's and O's, the lifestyle changes, and all the other things.
I actually like that, Kevin. And that would be the only look. You guys know how I feel about the Jets quarterback situation. I want Zach Wilson to start, but here's the thing: I don't want to throw this kid in the deep end of the pool if the kid's not ready. We did that to Sam Darnold, and we ended up ruining this kid.
We've done that with every quarterback after Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, but to be fair, they said with Sam Darnold, like, that was the thing. It was, he's not ready. He's a mold of clay that could be something unbelievable. I've been saying, I think Zach's ready, man. Zach and Trevor are the only QBs that are ready to go.
I think
they're going to have their
ready.
opportunity in preseason in order to show what they can do. Yeah. So, and if in training camp with all of the reps that they go ahead and they do it, well, then that's fine. But whoever it is we bring in for a veteran to sit behind Zach or whatever, one of the things that I would have liked to do, and again, you guys know how I feel about this. This is what I felt like they should have did with Sam, where they should have had Josh start the first 8 games and then turn the keys over to Sam in the middle of the middle of the season. I felt like they should have taken a page out of the Giants playbook like they did with Eli Manning. You know, I just think that that's the way to go. Now, for me, I would be.
If there was a Kurt Warner available, I would be down for that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, like, I would have zero issue with the first 5 games. Okay, if say we brought in a Brian Hoyer, or we brought in a Nick Mullins, or a CJ Beathard, or whatever, as long as we knew that they would come in and they would say, okay, look, you're going to start these games, but after the London game, when we get back from New England, the When we get
Look.
back to New England, the keys are turning over to the kid.
I want to feel you so hard on that. I want to feel you on that. I'm just thinking, as of right now, that London game and the stage that it's going to set, if it's not the rookie, I don't know. I think that's a missed opportunity. And that's just based on the schedule here. Panthers, Patriots, and then Broncos. Two extremely winnable games in the Panthers and the Broncos. The Patriots, depending upon how they rebound from what it is that they had last season. Now, mind you, they're going to get players back.
Think we're going to split.
Look, I believe it. I believe it. I just don't know.
You guys are going to laugh at me. I know you guys are going to give me crap for this.
I
don't give a damn about Buffalo. I don't give a damn about Miami. And I sure as hell don't give a damn about New England and their $165 million payroll. They can go shove that up their ass. Okay, because the Jets this year, you want to make a mark. You want to really put your foot down. You really want to send a message to the NFL. You go 500 in your division, and you smack the Patriots in the mouth. You smack the Bills in the mouth. You smack the Dolphins in the mouth. It doesn't matter whether you do it at home or you do it in their house. You find a way to go 500 in your diviation. Look, period. Point blank. Don't give me any bullshit excuses.
At home.
Don't give me any. Don't give me any of this. Well, they're not ready. It's a rookie head coach. No, Robert Saleh is going to want to choke slam somebody. This entire team, when they take the field, they are going to want to choke slam people. Okay, I cannot overemphasize the fact that I don't even give a damn about wins and losses this year. But what I do give a damn about, go 500 in your division and you smack them in the mouth. And you make sure that no matter whether you're playing them in Foxborough or you're playing them in South Florida or you're playing them in Orchard Park or you're playing them in MetLife, you send those bastards home limping. Yeah. Limping!
Three of our first 5 games on the road.
Place of fear for the rest of the NFL. Stop with this garbage that when people come to our house or the Jets come to town, they circle it as a W. Make them earn that W.
Look, three out of the first 5 games on the road, the games that we honestly need to be at home, the Patriots and the Titans, I think that the schedule is favorable for us in that regard. Because we can beat the Panthers we can beat the Panthers at their house. We can beat the Broncos at their house. We're going to be in London. The Titans are going to be tough. Having them at home first.
But they don't have Arthur Mullet anymore.
They don't have the coach. They don't have let's say he's out. So look, we have no idea what they're going to bring either. So, another situation where both teams are going to kind of be at a little bit of a disadvantage and not knowing really what the other team is going to do. So look, us having the home field advantage in that case, I think it's a great opportunity for us, especially having it be the fourth game, right? Against the Titans. It's early. We've got a couple under our belt. We've got kicked in the mouth a little bit. We've done some kicking, at that point. It's going to be an extremely impactful game. To be honest, I know we were supposed to be discussing, games that we felt were impactful. That would be my choice, the Titans game.
Yeah, but with CJ, what I would say, with that, I think you're right with the way to do it in the division, because you remember the old mentality, the old saying that when you approach the game, your goal is to win all your home games and split the away games. Remember, that was always the old thing for the longest time. It was always you win all your home games, you split your away games, you make the playoffs. That was always the way it was looked at. So you're right in that aspect. You want to go in with that mentality. But when it comes to playing Zach Wilson, the way I look at it is like with the guys you mentioned. You sign a Nick Mullins, you sign a CJ Beathard, you sign you get a Nick Foles, you're getting a backup quarterback. You sign a Hoyer, you're getting a mentor to your young quarterback. And it really comes down to, how Zach looks, like how he looks in camp, how he looks with the team. Because if he grooves and things look well and they look good in the preseason, then I think it's, time to go. It really comes down to what we see from him, how he shows with the team, how they jive with him. If the momentum there and the chemistry is there, then you hit it out the gate.
But see, I think a Nick Foles, the Jets can say whatever they want, because me and Lowell have been talking about this in the chat. Now, what does a Nick Foles do? Does he come in and the Jets tell him you're a backup quarterback for Zach Wilson? Now, does Nick Foles accept that and embrace the role, or does he say what the Jets want to hear and say, yeah, I'll do that,
and then come in
start
and
playing his game for his benefit and just accept paycheck.
Come in and go rogue,
That's
right?
the problem.
Yeah. Look, Nick Foles is third on the depth chart behind a rookie and the Red Rocket. So I would think that at this point
The
in
Red
time,
Rocket?
yeah. What's
Red
his
Rocket?
name? What's his name?
Red Ryder BB
Andy
gun.
Dalton, you're
Andy
calling
Dalton.
him a dog dick?
Well, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Look, I couldn't think of his name. The guy is really, he's kind of a non-factor for me.
Wait a second. Were you thinking of Radio Flyer? Like, what are you saying? He's just
you know
a
what?
wagon?
That's right. The BB gun, right? Is that what it was? What? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I got my tongue stuck on the pole trying to say his name. I couldn't think of what his name was.
The ways I could take that. The ways that I could take that.
So look, just in reality, Nick Foles probably should have a little bit of a humbling experience, understanding where he sits right now. And coming into a situation like this, I think this is an opportunity for him to get a multi-year contract, right? To come and hold the clipboard and do what it is that he needs to do. And, again, spot start. Nick Foles is good for coming in and winning one game. And maybe not even starting that game, right? Coming in the second quarter.
Hand the ball off 50 times.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kev. Too many people, they get too wrapped up in the idea of a system that works and a system quarterback. We saw with Matt Castle those years. Remember when Matt Castle came in for Tom Brady, he lit it up. And people were like, oh my God, this is the guy. They gave him a chance. He sucked it up. That's what happened with Foles. Foles got his chance with the Rams and he sucked big time. So I don't get all the love for him. He won a Super Bowl, but he came into a good situation on a good team and the chemistry worked and the momentum worked. A lot of factors came into place, but he's not a guy I want starting on my football team. He's not even a guy I want in Zach's ear.
If I need a guy to come in and play a quarter, 2 quarters, I'm still not sure I would pick Nick Foles at this point. No, so yeah,
I'd take Mullins. I'd take Nick Mullins over him.
Mullins, Hoyer, Bethard. That's where I would go.
Those are my picks.
Top three.
Will Litchmore says Foles ain't sitting behind Morgan. No, he wouldn't.
No.
Foles. Anybody we would bring in at this point would be the QB2, and James Morgan would be QB3. I just want James Morgan reps in preseason.
Yo, James, you mentioned James.
I don't know if that lasts outside of preseason though.
But Jimmy, you mentioned seeing him in the preseason. I said at the time the James Morgan pick was actually a good one because people forget we didn't know what was going on with Flacco at the time. He was a question mark when that pick happened, he throws a beautiful deep ball, man. In the preseason, that'll be fun to watch.
The difficulty with Morgan is that he's not a mover though.
Not at all. He's like Mac Jones in that way, but he throws a beautiful deep ball.
I've already said that the James Morgan pick, because Bill Belichick was incredibly high on James Morgan. Really wanted James.
I said last year. I said it was a good pick.
And I think that this was a Joe Douglas. Let's because we're on WWSRN right now. Much love to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We're going to call this a 200 IQ C block,
right?
Of Bill Belichick for James Morgan. I'm
using that. Thank you.
I've been saying that since that draft pick happened, man. And I just think that. Look, even if it turns into a trade, even if Joe Douglas is holding James Morgan hostage and he's like, yo, Belichick, if you want James Morgan as a backup.
Let's hit a third.
I'm with you, Jimmy. Bro. Check my Twitter, man. I had a videotape on it. I've been defending him the whole time, saying it's not a bad pick. People forget at the time. Flacco.
I remember that. Yeah,
Harrison, but I had a videotape on it. A lot of people listened to it and they were like, oh, he makes a good point.
It does. And I'll say this. As far as James Morgan is concerned, for what we were running with a Gase offense, I think maybe he would have fit the mold a little bit. If he can't move,
but that was the other thing.
If he can't move in this offense, though.
But a Gase offense was drawn in crayon, so we'll never.
Yeah. And that was the other thing. People were like the whole year, they're like, we're going to see James Morgan.
Drawn in crayon. You know what it was? It was drawn in Braille.
I don't even remember. I was saying that.
Freaking read it. You know what it was?
No, CJ. No, it was not.
And then the other side had a giant picture of Frank Gore.
No. I'm going to tell you right now. Braille requires intelligence to read. There is
no
way.
Intricacy.
Bro, Adam Gase is that kid in the preschool that's got the blocks in front of him, and he's trying to put the wrong one in, and the other kid's telling him it's wrong, and he's like, shut up.
Adam Gase is that kid with the tape on his face, holding his nose up with the glue on his cheeks.
Exactly.
Nah.
He goes up to the teacher, I need help.
All right, guys. We got about 5 5 minutes left. Let's start to wrap this up really quick. Everybody, let's go around the room. We're going to start with Harrison. All right. Actually, we're at 4 minutes over here. So, Harrison, we're going to start with you. We'll go to Jimmy. We'll go to Kevin. I'll finish it up. Let's take us home. Rock and roll. Go for it.
This is simple, man. I mentioned it before. Go through the positions: quarterback, running back, got wide receivers in free agency, tight end in the draft as an undrafted guy. Fix the offensive line. Maybe you could use another guard. I still believe Cameron Clark or maybe Tristan Hoge right now, man. Tristan Hoge looks like a beast next to Vera Tucker and Cam. So I'm feeling like Hoge and Clark. Hoge. I thought it was Hoge.
It's Hodge.
Hodge. I think Kevin is right. It's Hodge.
Kevin is right. He's related to Merrill Hodge.
No, he's not. Hodge.
Yes, he is.
Hodge is Hodge.
Well, no, actually, I'm not sure how he's related to him, but there's one of his relatives. One of his relatives follow me, and I actually asked him. He said it's pronounced Hodge.
Hodge.
Is what he told me.
That's what I said.
All right, Jimmy, you're up.
But yeah, I was just going to say, at all the positions, Douglas addressed them through free agency in the draft. He's built a great team. We have to believe in our quarterback. It's not going to be maybe great at first, but this is the right thing. Baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day. Get ready, because it is going to be immediate, but we are coming.
Look, however it's pronounced, I don't even know. Okay, and I don't.
He told me it's Hodge. He told me.
Let's go.
That's what I thought Merrill.
And he's a relative of him. I just don't know.
But apparently Merrill is Hodge. So I stand corrected on that. I just
nephew.
Now, regardless of that, I will piggyback off of what you said. And this kid, I'll call him Hodge.
Bro, have you seen his Twitter? I love it. In his Twitter, it says superhero enthusiast, son of Odin. I love that. I love that.
Fair enough. But the fact of the matter remains is he was the number one center coming out of high school. He was scholarship to Notre Dame. He wasn't getting his playing time, so he went to BYU. We have a diamond in the rough in Tristan Hodge. Period.
Yeah. All right.
So I love that. Now,
look,
the last thing I'll say is I might miss a show coming up. The move to Indiana is absolutely a go. We just got approved for our house. We just got approved for everything. So I'm moving on
Good luck, brother.
This month to Indiana, and I can't thank you guys enough. So
we'll hold you down, brother.
Absolutely, we got this. Kevin,
hold you down. Real quick. There's been a lot of phenomenal points made throughout this show. There's been a lot of really awesome banter. There's been a lot of dope comments. And once again, just love to the guys in the comment section. Guys, to the following, you guys are the reason why we do this. It is so dope to have you guys there. It is a wonderful time to be a Jets fan, guys. It is a beautiful time to be a Jets fan. Let's not get caught up in all of the nonsense. Let's kind of just sit back and get ready to really enjoy what may not be playoff or Super Bowl caliber football, but it's going to be way better than what it is that we've seen. And if you guys have been fans for as many years as I have, we're long overdue. Let's live.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for tonight's episode of Weapons Hot, a New York Jets fan broadcast here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. You can follow the show on Twitter at CNC Jets Factor. You can follow me at JetsFan0523. My partners in crime on the other side of the glass, Mr. Kevin Jackson, that's Buddy Blackman. Jimmy the Reaper Jardine, that Jets by Jimmy. Harrison the Fireball Glazer, our awesome rookie test pilot at NYJetsTF Media. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us on Facebook. Go to our page, like, subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe. Holla back at us. We will try to get to your comments and just keep checking out our content. Also, don't forget to go to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, their Facebook page, their website. Like, subscribe, download the app. Go to Google Play if you have an Android. Go to the Apple iOS store for Apple. You actually have to type in WWSRN in order to find it. Download it. That's how you can consume Weapons Hot, both audio and video, along with the other shows that we have on our tremendous network. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Jimmy the Reaper Jardine, our rookie test pilot, Harrison the Fireball Glazer, and the man with a plan, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Spotty Blackman Jackson. This is your host, CJ the Painkiller D. Simone, signing off. We'll see you guys when we see you guys, and I will leave you guys with the best chant in the National Football League. All right, Wise Guys is coming up next. So, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, go Jets. We'll see you guys next week. Check us out.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.